If you are looking for work in India before independence, chances are you were in agriculture. No CV, no LinkedIn, just land, crops, and a lot of hard labor. Fast forward 78 years, India's job market has been through one of the most dramatic transformations in the world. Today, we are diving into how we got here, what's working, what's not, and where we might be heading next. When India broke free from the colonial rule in 1947, the economy was battered. There had been famine, war, and an economy stripped bare. Agriculture dominated, but it could not employ everyone forever. So, India's leaders turned to the Soviet-style model. Big state-owned industries like steel, cement, and tractors. Mega projects like dams to secure food supply. These projects didn't just lay foundation for India's infrastructure, they created millions of jobs. For the first time, a new middle class began to emerge. Not just from farming, but from factories, small businesses, and government services. By the 1970s, cracks appeared. Jobs in government were saturated. The population was rising steadily. Other socialist economies like the USSR and Yugoslavia faced similar slowdowns. India managed to cushion the blow somewhat through bank and mining nationalization. But it was clear the government could not be the only job creator. And then came 1991. India opened its doors to global trade and investment. Manufacturing grew, services exploded, especially IT, finance, and healthcare. Today, services account for over 52% of India's GDP, and they employ a huge chunk of India's workforce. By early 2000s, India had gone global in a new way. As a tech hub, from call centers to coding for Silicon Valley, Indian talent became a global export. NASSCOM says that IT BPM sector alone employed 4.5 million people. But there's a twist. Technology also began replacing jobs. Remember, in 1991, India's official unemployment rate was around 2 to 4% under usual status definition, which counted only those who had been jobless and were actively seeking work for at least 6 months. In contrast, by 2025, the newly introduced monthly labour force data from Periodic Labour Force Survey shows a much higher unemployment rate of 5.1% in April, climbing up to 5.6% in May and June. AI, automation, digitization, they've been both a blessing and a threat. New roles popped up: data scientists, cybersecurity experts, digital marketers. But traditional jobs from bank tellers to factory line workers began disappearing. And then came COVID-19 and the job market flipped overnight. Hospitality, retail and tourism saw mass layoffs. Urban unemployment spiked, reaching nearly 29% in some areas. But the crisis also accelerated remote work and e-commerce. Delivery riders, digital customer support, and online educators became frontline workers of the pandemic economy. Still, questions remain about job quality. A big trend today? Well, the gig economy. An estimated 15 million Indians now freelance, from designing logos to delivering food. For many, it's flexible, but it's also unstable, which is no fixed salary, no benefit. India also has a growing informal work sector where jobs exist but lack security or long-term prospects. Employers now care more about skills than paper qualification. Digital marketing, coding, data analytics, these can land you high-paying jobs. But here's the problem: the skills gap. Many job seekers don't have the training employers need, and that's why Skill India and similar programs matter. They've trained nearly 88 million people since 2015. A newer initiative, Namo Drone Didis, train rural women to use drones in agriculture. Drones helping with precision spraying, crop health checks, and lowering labor costs. It's a glimpse into how tech can boost productivity and create new rural opportunities. India is now the third largest startup ecosystem in the world. Fintech leads the pack, but startups are also popping up in health tech, ed tech, agri-tech, and renewable energy. The government's Startup India and Atal Innovation Mission offers tax breaks, funding and mentoring. Startups don't just create jobs, they also diversify the economy and drive innovation. For decades now, India's middle class has been the engine of growth. Now, many are caught in what some call triangle trap, that is, wage stagnation, higher inflation, and job insecurity. Add debt and EMIs for homes, education, and healthcare, and the pressure builds. This slowdown hits sectors like real estate, consumer goods, and private education, all heavily dependent on middle-class spending. And despite challenges, India's economy has unique buffers: a massive rural economy which is less dependent on exports, a strong agriculture base, grassroots services sector from transport to healthcare, new industries like EV manufacturing, renewable energy, ethanol production could absorb workers displaced by automation. Now, India's job market has transformed from plows to platform, but the next decade poses big questions. Can the skill gap be closed fast enough? Will automation take more jobs than it creates? And can the middle class regain its role as a growth driver? Because for all the progress, one thing remains true: a job isn't just a paycheck, it's security, it's dignity, and it's the foundation for building a future. India's job story isn't finished, it's just entering its next chapter.